everybody. Welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 182, Casual Conversations 95. As always, my name is Bradley Bowes. I'm being profoundly and extensively tortured. There is nothing I can do, there is nowhere I can go, and there is no one I can call. I'm going to be tortured until the day that I die because my constitutional rights are violated. I'm more mature than a bunch of people that have authority over me. Not really, but they refuse to do their jobs. Anytime I speak statements of facts, literally offend people. And so if you say the same people that are emotionally immature enough to scapegoat you and torture and neglect you as a child are the same people that can't hear about it when they're adults. And so I'm still the victim of profound ongoing criminal activity. I've reached out in Article 1, Section 8, Subsection 7 of the United States Constitution gives me a constitutional right to my writings and my discoveries. Clearly my writings and my discoveries have merit. I'm just simply asking for the same publication method as anybody else. Simply requesting I will pay $100,000 for a brand deal to distribute one of my 11 lecture series. I will pay you $10 million for a publication or a publication date. 10% of the money down, ready to go. And so I just need somebody to pay me some money or give me a time frame so I can stop being denigrated every 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 months. It has never stopped happening in 22 years. And so Sasha Mama, we're at HQ Flats and I say, I've been stuck since I've been 8, and you start laughing. It's not funny. It's not funny. Whether you're this species or the next species, I don't give a fuck. I'm an individual that deserves dignity and respect. And I am surrounded by pathetic people. Right, again, rattling off to the people that had no idea what. These are people that I know directly, personally, that have professional obligations to do something. Miles Harris was 1 grade above me from St. Francis de Sales High School. He's currently a reporter at NBC4I, which is our local news station, and they report on the news. When they shine the light on something, something gets done. When they don't shine a light on something, something doesn't get done. Miles Harris needs to get kicked out of the society for real and for good. His entire first-person family done. Do your job, Miles Harris. Report on the news. Once I say your name, you are out of the society. Andrew Ginter, don't know personally. Elaine Bryant, Michael Drake, whoever the Christina, whoever the president of the OSU was. But I know again Gary Lewis Jr., who's the chief of police of Bexley district, or not exactly sure the municipality, border, whatever. But he has two universities in his district, Bexley, or Capital University, and one other one, I forget, it wasn't super well known. But they're absolutely, anybody at tertiary education is 100% distributing my property whatsoever. Every state licensure is fraudulent without citing your sources. It's plagiarism. Plagiarism is theft of intellectual property. And then Peter Patton, who again is the shooting coach for a billionaire. And when I reach out to him as going to be a 30-year-old man, my half birthday's on March 10th, going to be a 30-year-old man, I reach out to somebody who's my dad has built his career. And these people owe me money. And Mark Cuban, his boss, has literally said, well, maybe you should do something. Directly thinking about me saying these people are committing crimes, maybe you should do something public to get people's attention. Which I've done, and cops threatened to shoot me. I go to the FBI building, they won't let you walk into the building to report crime. If you call them, they won't give you an agent's number. They refuse to report on crime. Legitimately, for real. They come to my apartment and said, we can do basically whatever we want, recorded on camera for real. But if my parents won't respect my life's research, nobody in my community will support anything I've ever done, and people will continue to commit crimes until the point I can't eat and sleep, and it's direct violation of the United States Constitution and Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Like the FBI agent that said, what Constitution? You can go anywhere and publish that. No, I literally can't pay $10 million to have one single person on this planet, again, save their career of their families for $10 million. Because, well, we formed a cult, and we refuse to change our behavior. We love to kill fucking children because we won't prescribe cannabis. We love to fucking kill children because we are incompetent. We love to kill fucking children because we don't feel responsible for anything besides playing games and come. So, and that's the primary function of this lecture series, is to resolve ongoing criminal activity. I also do current events and talking points, just news, politics, and not really politics except for making fun of the fucking retarded people that are committing crimes. Relevant random stories from my life, and will I ever be treated like a person? I generally think not. Right, in this lecture series, again, I said there's no chance I'd have human rights before 30. No chance before 35. No chance a single person will have the maturity level to behave like a fucking adult. You guys are all committing crimes. It's all illegal. You guys are just in the biggest gang in the world. And the result is to kill kids because we're going to deny stuff that are inevitable. There is no chance this stuff is not going to be integrated in the most prolific scientific discovery ever. But hey, are we literate? No. Do we care to educate ourselves? No. Do we give a fuck about anything? No. So, I just need one person, one human being to give me a time frame, pay me $0 and give me a time frame, and then The normal human response to being tortured, having your rights violated, having all your property stolen, and being threatened every 2 days is to be angry. That is the normal human response to that. But then people say, like my mom, oh, you're angry all the time. No, I'm really not. I'm just angry when people commit crimes. People happen to be committing crimes all the time. So at any point in time, people would stop playing games and coming all day and be decent fucking adults. Or die the fuck off. But just continue to fuck up this society relentlessly and without end. Without cessation forever. Fucking disgusting. Absolutely fucking disgusting. So, past our lovely introduction. Again, I don't know how long this might be, a shorter episode, but I just wanted to do something different besides book club or another TV show that gets no views whatsoever. Not like these get any views anyway. Nothing gets any views. I'm not allowed to be a human being. I'm not allowed to form identity. I'm not allowed to have agency over my own self. I'm not allowed to make choices. I'm not allowed to access healthcare. I'm not allowed to get a girlfriend. I'm not allowed to socialize. I'm not allowed to get a job. I'm not allowed to start a business. I'm not allowed to collect my property. It's all on the fucking internet and dumb. But I'll never have a career or family because of ongoing criminal activity. So a good mix of stories, quick ones, some more famous quotes, a little bit of economics, your typical talking points, and then a couple quotes from the podcast. So, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Yeah, well, I've never had a girlfriend, like literally at all. Like I told you, I dated Megan McCabe for like bullshit, like I don't know, 12 months, and like senior year of high school and freshman year of college. Got a couple hand jobs on the weekend, that was about it. But again, no intimacy, no like actually planning for the future, no like actual dating. But the way it actually lined up was like when we first like started dating, it was like right after Valentine's Day, and we broke up like we were at college when it was like our first Valentine's Day, and by the time we got back from, but literally at Christmas break we broke up. So I've literally never had about Valentine's Day ever, and I'm going to be 30 this year. So I'll never have a Valentine's before the age of 30. And again, obviously, a super virgin. I've got one BJ, again, still shout out to Abby. Got a couple hand jobs from Megan McCabe over the years, or was several years, about a decade ago. Yeah, but just shout out to her and her fucker family. You know, remember I told you, don't do those stories, but have to shout those out. The other two girls that I really liked in my lifetime were Montana Honig and Bridget Steffes, and they both, again, I'm not allowed to. If the beta males in the group decide that you're not in, there's no chance people are going to see a future with you. None, zero. Therefore, you're not a mate. You're not a potential mate whatsoever. So shout out to them. But I did have again. Megan McCabe was Susan, Montana Honig was Thing 1, and Bridget Steffes was Thing 2. I think I might have told you guys that. But I did have another funny story pop in my head. I'm not sure if I told you guys this one. This is the same time when I was friends with James Judson. I had my social engineering fake ID, which is really, again, it's like you can't confidently forge a state issued thing unless you have somebody in the state or you're a high tech criminal. And at high school, I was not a high tech criminal, and certainly at no point in time high tech enough to have like a passable real ID or something, or like fake an ID or a passport or something. And so my idea again was to make it look like a work badge. And I literally just Chris Lofton got some generic template off Google Pics for just some construction badge. And so the social engineering was again walk into these gas stations, put some beer on the counter or a bottle of wine or whatever it was. And again, and really in high school we drank once in a blue moon. We were not, at least my friend group or my generation or at my school was not big into drinking. Not that it's good or bad, that's what it was for us. And so go into the gas stations or whatever, and put the beer on the table, and they're like, we need an ID, and they need a state issued ID. Be like, oh well, here's my work badge, it's got my date of my birth on it. If this works, if not, it's no big deal. I'll just go grab it out of my car, in the hopes that they're like, oh, this guy's clearly just got off work, and I'm gonna go in there with cargo shorts and like a wife beater and like look like after a workout or something. So it worked out most of the time, not all the time, but 75% to 80% of the time it did work out. And again, I had full facial hair in high school, so I did look a little older, so that probably helped a little bit too. But so one day, probably one of the first times we do that, we're going to the Friday night football game here at DeSales High School. And so me and my old friend James Judson, we get a bottle of wine, we split it about half and half, and then we're going into the game, and if you've ever been to Set, again, if you've not been, it's just like they have like a little walkway. There's a parking lot, then you have like a little ticket booth, and you walk into this walkway to get to the stadium. So at the ticket booth was my theology teacher, was actually Bridget Steffes' mom, Patricia Steffes, there we go, that's her name. Well, maybe she's still alive, I don't know. she was kind of old in high school. But anyway, so we're going to go through the thing, and my dad's like right on the other side of the thing. And so it was apparently like, my theology teacher had pulled aside my dad and had told my dad how a great person I had been to just to people in class, to contributing, just to being a good person. And so, to all these people, like my mom, that thinks I'm being mad and angry. Remember, this is year 7 of this stuff. And I have been neglected and abused my whole life, so it's not like I didn't say, fuck your children, pay me my money to Peter Patton until I posted, 300 public posts about trying to network. And nobody can reach out, nobody can do anything. So yeah, then fuck you. But so my dad was like right inside this like football gate, like complimenting me, like being so proud that my teacher was like, you're such a good, hardworking person, and you're a great classmate, and good to your peers and stuff. And I was sitting there tipsy as fuck. I'm sitting there with my dad, like, yep, cool, I'm gonna head on in. And James, my buddy Jimmy, was like already past him. We're like, oh, I don't think my buddy Jimmy was around. Like he didn't see them at that time. But it was just funny. One of the first times, like, kind of getting like tipsy, I get complimented by dad for being a great person. I don't think consuming alcohol is bad, but it was just funny. So that was a story that it kind of popped into my head that I did not, I don't think I've told. Besides that same time frame, we're going to AFLAC conventions, singing their weddings. We're going to actual weddings that aren't ours, are invited to. We're painting ourselves with car oil, thinking they're tattoos, all the good stuff. So, some more lovely quotes from the ladies of the round table. Again, I told you that's my mom and her friends. Again, I don't know if they're still friends. I don't care. Again, I'm in no contact with my parents because they refuse to respect my professional life at any cost whatsoever. Again, the reason I invested in the bar and restaurant is because my mom put stress on me because she kicked me out of the house she didn't kick me out of the house, but I can't walk around on eggshells because my parents are like 14. And I literally fed my aunt's dog a scoop of dog food. That is literally the stimulus of why I have any bills whatsoever past, again, food and beer at my parents' house. So again, I could be comfortably living on $5,000 a year. And so then I've been trying to invest in this bar and restaurant, but every 2 months, well, you gotta go make your money, I'm trying every single day, everything I can, again, writing letters, again, politely, this is year 7, nobody responds, it's clear as fucking day. But again, my parents think in absolutes. Immature people think in absolutes. It's either you solved all of science or you've done nothing at all. Well, I still have PhDs in about 15 different things. That would give me some credentials to get a pretty good job, but it'll let me promote the business I already have. And so, but when this lovely conversation again, I reach out to Peter Patton to try to collect my property because he works for a billionaire. My dad built his career, and I'm a grown man, and the response is to email my parents, what a bitch, Peter Patton, what a fucking pussy. But then my mom, because these people absolutely slandered my name. This entire community has absolutely slandered and ruined my reputation to the point where I can't make friends or get a job or collect my credentials or collect my property for real. But they're not mature enough to take responsibility for their actions. So my mom says to me, first in the conversation, it's like, my parents can't stop thinking in absolutes. So I was like, my research clearly has merit. And she was like, we both agree on that. As if my parents, Mike and Michelle Bowes, who have, again, where's your guys' PhD research? When have you ever been exposed to PhD level research? See, the answer is never. And you're going to be like, oh yeah, we both agree it has merit, but then they flip-flop. It's either, again, it's the biggest thing in the world, or it's a nothing burger at all. Again, nothing, it's clearly nothing. But here's Article 1, Section 8, Subsection 7, United States Constitution, I have a right to writings and discoveries. Not profound math solutions, not important things in physics, just writings and discoveries. So just stop the conversation there, and just, besides that, encourage the law. But, so they were like, we both agree on that, as if my parents have any ability to assess theoretical physics PhD level research. Yeah. But then again, musical performance. You just perform music at a high level, which I can clearly do. It takes no thinking or thought or this. I can clearly do music, and they still won't publish that stuff. So what's going on, guys? But we both agree on that. Thanks, Mom and Dad, even though you guys have supported nothing I've ever done besides playing sports for 15 straight years. And then once the sports are done, it's like, just go get a job, which I can't. I can't fucking get a job. I have a terrible back. I can't sit or stand properly because I played sports all day. And so whatever I do 100%. So it's like, let's lift weights. Now, allegedly, I probably would have lifted weights outside of just playing sports in general, but I have a bad back and I need health care, so I can't do a lot of jobs because I have a bad back. I can't eat and sleep properly, so I have cannabis. So that eliminates me from a lot of job pools. I've been applying to jobs that are, again, I am profoundly qualified for, no responses at all. No, zero. Nothing. But then, so again, these people, this community I'm from absolutely slandered my reputation to the point where I got kicked out of every social group I ever had. Everybody that isn't in complete denial knows that's what occurred. And then so I'm on the phone with my mom again. She's the one that brings the emotional tension to these conversations because she's the one that's 14 and I'm the one that's more mature than everybody. But I'm not allowed. My parents are biologically older than me and have some control over my finances, so they're going to manipulate and assert any authority over me they can. Which is basically my mom doesn't know how to manage money properly, so it's I don't see my money bleed out at all. Okay, well I have 200 grand, I will bleed out to zero. Then what? No problem at all. Then what? I'm stuck in the same position. I can't get a job because I'm out of society. I can't collect my property because of crime. But then my mom says on the phone, and they say the same about you, talking about her friends, saying that I'm slandering their names. So Christina Di Cesare, Kimberly Lambert, and Kimberly Couric, or whatever, Mullen. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out what happened. Clearly you guys didn't slander my name. Clearly you guys don't gossip, even though, again, it's documented every day for the past 4 years. So we're going to figure this out in court for real. I'm really going to press criminal charges, and I'm really going to fucking sue you guys for slander. And again, everybody in the Central Ohio community, my own friends, Tim Doon with a medical license, Richard Reese with a law degree, David Paletta teaching at Arizona State right now in mathematics. Again, I'm not trying to accuse anybody of anything. I'm just trying to collect my property. It seems like people are committing crimes. And I don't have a career or family. I'm going to be 30 this year, and I've never had a girlfriend. And so you guys weren't in the social circles that I was. We can go back and just talk to the people our age and see who really thinks that I'm exaggerating anything. But I'm the scapegoat. That is the point of the scapegoat. They actually destroy your life, and then they blame you for it. But, so thank you for the ladies of the round table. Again, you neglected a child. You guys are literally child abusers. But again, another quote that I've already told the story from my mom when she said, I literally wrote Understanding Terrorism, which is a first principle account of people that have gone through terrorist events. And I said 20% of any revenue would go to supporting like a relief cause. And that was like published way back in like 2016. But my mom literally, and that was like my first publication, my first like project. Something where I put something into the world, like I'm pretty happy about this. This is like a cool thing, I edited it. It was a project, I paid $500 out to the people contributing. So I paid the people for their contributions. And I was like feeling pretty good about it. And then my mom says to me, you can't expect other people to fund you. I wrote a book. A lot of people write books and people buy them and they make careers out of that. But my mother at the same time doesn't know how to manage her money and doesn't want me to do actually better than her. She wants me to do right in between. Be a medical doctor, but don't have a girlfriend or a career till you're 40. Okay, well, yeah, it's working. It's 100% working. But then also when she was at my house disrespecting my life's research in my own home, and she says to me, and again, kind of like a snotty way, well, what are you doing to make friends? You can't make hometown friends again. I can't socialize. The only way I'll get any social groups, I don't need to go to like a Super Bowl party, or for fuck's sake, the most profound intellectual ever. I need to feel financially stable so I can be creative. And the Nelk Boys, and Lex Friedman, and Brett Weinstein, and Joe Rogan, and Eric Weinstein, and Theo Vaughn, they all get to be creative, and they're not. They have financial freedom, and they're not creative as fucking anything. And Logan Paul, and Jake Paul, and Mike Malak, and George Jacob, who's not a fucking Christian. They're just fucking child killers. They are just denying science. They are just hurting people. You can't call yourself a Christian as Brad, as a grown man who knows how to behave himself, doesn't need to follow somebody else's fucking shitty behavior. You can't be a Christian and not stand in front of persecution, which is literally prosecution. Persecution is prosecution. So it just literally tattoo some Michael Franzese Proverbs on your arms, George Janko tattoo a fucking Jesus fish on your arms, and then go run a shitty fucking podcast with dating and refuse to enforce science, which is killing children globally. Great Christians you guys all are. Sweet stuff. But what am I doing to socialize and make friends? Literally at every minute of every day, I've done anything that is reasonable to progress my life according to when it was reasonable. Meaning, if you were around the clock to when I was 14 years old, I was doing my homework, I was studying, I was thinking about every algebra relationship, I was thinking about every biology fact and diligently and earnestly. Just because I have this profound intellectual capacity, people think I don't put in the work. But the reality is I do profoundly more work than anybody else. And my reward for that is denigration constantly. And so what am I doing to socialize and make friends? Trying to start a career so I can interact in social groups. And nobody will do anything to help me. So I might as well finish up with stories first. Just a couple more quick ones. Medicare harassment calls still coming in at least 10 times a day. I've been now left 2 voicemails, so I'm now suing Ohio more than it's already possible. Ohio's already needs to be entirely me. But literally, I try to sign up for Medicare because once again, I don't have health care. I don't have access to access anything that would help my biological fucking health because of money and crime. It's all the same fucking answer. But so I was like, figure, let's try to get some health care because I'm just sitting here with no financial security blanket at all. At all. And my parents could just say, we're going to confidently, and again, on the thing, it's like, the reason I formed the alcohol company in general, because I had already, again, $12 million contractually owed to me the instant my music, and this was before music really, but the instant my science had gotten published, then I have a huge career. Again, I would found my own university. So it's like, I just want to chill. I'm just trying to chill now. But my mom, again, my mother would legitimately trust that random guy over there that's about her age than my credentials at all. And so she's like, well, you have to go, again, the alcohol company is valued about $4 million, $1 million of cash, $1 million of legal. We're never going to get a product because the FDA is fraudulent. But the cash flow is only a $10,000 stipend. And so the reason I formed that at all was because my mother keeps putting financial stress on me like I haven't done anything yet. And now the actual money fucking pisses me off. Past that, I'm not going to interact with my parents anymore. But past the actual money, every time my mother says, well, go do something else, it says, well, I haven't done anything already. The most profound scientific discovery in human history, and my mother has never taken a rigorous science course in her life, is going to tell me, go do something else, you haven't done anything. And again, she is an upper level middle manager, and she's going to teach her kid how to manage money or start a career or something. After her friends slandered my name until I can't. But again, that never happened. Once 2 years go by, nothing has ever occurred. But I signed up for Medicare to try to get health care, to try to do anything I can to limit my costs or increase my security. And the answer is absolutely no. And then I get 15 calls a day, and they start leaving me fucking voicemails. So whoever, and again, I put my phone number, I can't even honestly say I for sure put it into the Medicare site, but it's the only place that would be calling for me for Medicare, and it's a government website. So fuck that shit. Whoever's dialing these fucking phones, I literally pick up the phone like, this is a great phone number to call if you want to get shot in the fucking head. You're not allowed to defend yourself. Saying you're going to defend your life or your property will be perceived as a threat to other people. One more story, and then a couple talking points. So an actual personal experience of logical substitution when people use the wrong words precisely incorrectly. So we have the National Honor Society here in the great state or the great country of the United States. National honors, again, where everyone just steals it is what it is. But it's like a high school thing for hard-working students. So I don't know what the fuck the requirements were, but I was in it. I remember my grade average in high school, I truly believe, I think it was either 95 or 96% over every class I took. In ACT, I think, if it was super scored and getting the science questions were wrong. Like, if there was objectively wrong science questions, it would have been like a 33. But again, my writing scores were perfect. But I was in the National Honor Society, whatever the fuck that is. And so we're getting inducted. They have a little ceremony, whatever. And again, my old worthless friend, Brendan O'Connell. Just call him Brandon. But he's given the thank you speech, or one of the speeches. I think there's a bunch of speeches. I forget this shit. It was literally 10 years ago. But so he goes up there and he's giving the closing remarks to the people who set the thing up or whatever. And he literally says word for word verbatim, is like, I have it written down. What did he say? He said gracious as grateful. So he says something to the effect, we're all very gracious for what you have done. When it's clear that he meant grateful. And so that was one of the first scenarios. Well, I don't say first scenarios, but because again, logical substitution, I've always been doing this stuff. It was one of those first scenarios where it was like a public speech where it's clear he said the wrong word in the wrong context. And so I pointed it out to him, and he was like, yeah, well, thanks for catching me, or thanks for getting that, or, you pointed that out. But that's my point is every time someone says the wrong word in the right context, the right word just pops into my brain. And so it's like, I've never considered myself a mathematician. So over here, I literally said, oh, I got my patent, cool beans. Let's try to do research mathematics. Because at no point in college university, up into having a 3.8 in physics research, taking graduate level classes, when all I needed for a bachelor's degree was like a couple bullshit, I need to get up to Spanish 3, need some foreign language credits, and some extra, or like some Russian movie class that, again, I told you about her, that chick who, again, literally heavy Russian before I could even speak any fucking Russian. And she goes from in-class distribution of homework to online. And I'm literally going to the classes, and then I fail the class as I'm literally in the class for not doing homework. And it's like a film review class. Never done any movie reviews. No television reviews here. Nope. So yeah, I need those credits. Good fucking Christ. But it was the Brendan O'Connell story is one, again, it just pops in my head every time. But I don't think about doing mathematics. It doesn't register to me as linguistics to me. It's language. It's like, oh, let's try to solve all physics. Well, to describe physics, you need words. So it's like, okay, check. And then so within like an hour, literally within an hour of like me sitting down with a blank computer piece of paper that is now sitting in a museum somewhere on David Dunker's Eisenbud's desk, but he hasn't even been the fucking president of MSRI in fucking 8 months anymore. So we're cycling through new people now. David Eisenbud and Ed Witten's probably going to die soon. I'm not going to email new people. Just keep the emails that I'm emailing. Just keep those functional. My God. Because again, I still don't have a place to literally write down science. Like literally. But within an hour, just like, let's do some math. Let's see where we get to. And like, holy fuck, profound empirical breakthroughs. Like, put your pen and paper down. Go look at the world around you. And you can see when you focus a camera. Or literally, the first time was without a camera. Literally, just go looking at a Christmas light in the nighttime, and you can see the polygons. So it's like, yeah, it's right here, guys. And then you close your eyes, you squint a little bit, and then you see your blood vessels jiggling through, your blood cells jiggling through the light refracting through your eyelashes, and then you go vibrate a water bottle and zoom in on the inflection points of the water vibrating. There's a fucking alien. And then 35 people come up to you at your apartment buildings and they're like, yeah, they're everywhere. It's like, can somebody pay me some fucking money? Because every time you say the wrong words in the right context, the right words pop up, and I'm not allowed to publish it anywhere. Awesome. Life is so cool. It's super fun. And that was literally one of the first times that occurred. It was just like, I won't say the first times, but it was definitely a noticeable or a memorable story for me. So that did have quite good amount of stories. Now just on to the talking points. We had LeBron James passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA all-time leading scorer. Actually ironic, another quick story. So, like I told you, Madame Androuche, bonjour. But it took French in high school. Again, the minute I demonstrate language, people notice that I'm doing something interesting. So I did two years of French, and then the third year I stopped taking it, but she stopped me in the hallway and was like, we're having like the National Food Day, you should come by. I did it, but my name was Kareem. We had to pick a French name. And so, who was it? It was David Keller and Brendan O'Connell, BK. Brendan BK from St. Paul group BK. What was it? Brendan Kelly in French class, freshman and sophomore year. And so we had to pick a French name. And I was like, watch this, guys. And Zach DeCamp was in that class too. Jalen Noble and fucking Patrick McGuire. Peut-être. You still got to hit them with that peut-être. But anyway, so you had to pick a French name. And I was just like, I'm just fucking around. Because believe it or not, as a prodigious linguist, actually learning foreign languages, like that was the only class I ever attempted to cheat in, like once or twice. Me and David Keller had like a little cheating scheme, like once or twice for like just like the listening portion of the French test. But I'm hilariously ironic, and I'm literally the most prodigious linguist ever. But again, it's my attenuation to logic. I instinctually react to grammar and to words, not so much as into building a semantic vocabulary. And at this point, I have trained my vocal cords. In high school, I hadn't trained my vocal cords to articulate the sounds. Now it's easy as fuck. But anyway, we had to pick a French name, and I'm just like, hey, David and Brett. I think it was David and Brendan Kelly. I was like, hey, guys, I'm just going to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So it's Kareem. To Madame Andrews. Je suis Kareem. But it was literally after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, that was funny. But LeBron James passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA all-time leading scorer, sorcerer, brujo, a sorcerer. So again, that's just expanding the syllability. I really don't watch NBA basketball or college basketball at all. Good job, LeBron. Go have more political opinions that are stupid as fuck, you dumb idiot. Shoot the hoops with Peter Patton, back of the rim. Up 750 players or 75 players getting paid with Mark Cuban. You should do something. You could easily put $50K in a bag and put it on my desk. Nope. So who cares? Most tech workers find jobs within 8 weeks. How? How the fuck does anybody find a job? Again, job openings is different than someone saying, here's an offer. How do you get that? Doesn't exist. And again, I have top expertise in finance, linguistics, teaching, music, content creation, TV, cinema, and investment. Meaning I would literally bring 100K into an investment group. I would relocate anywhere, any country that isn't fucking way more fucking uncivil than the United States, which is kind of hard to do. Yeah, I just want to be able to grow some mushrooms, grow some weed, brew my own fucking beer, collect my property. If I could collect my property, I wouldn't care about brewing my own beer past just like a hobby. Or growing weed for that matter. I'd probably grow weed more so than brew beer. If I wasn't, again, as opposed to like save money to like grow my own weed and brew beer. If it was just a hobby, I'd probably grow weed and not brew beer. But yeah, and then maybe like own a firearm or just a weapon to protect my property if need be. Again, I'm a Kansas card, so I can't do that. So you can't protect your property here in the state of Ohio. Republicans, Governor DeWine, but carnival shit, smear shit all over her face. But how does anybody find a fucking job? Again, I'm still going to read my resume that's actively real and true, and it's just, again, you can't, without networking credentials, everything is impossible. Legitimately, everything is impossible. So, again, I just don't know how anybody gets a job. But within 8 weeks, that's still 2 months. My financial feet are not underneath me strictly because of ongoing criminal activity, my parents threatening to breach contract, and everybody that I've ever met refusing to support anything I've ever done. Death tolls in Turkey and Syria rise to 20,000 dead and 75,000 injured. So I'm sure it's even higher than that now. And this is a couple days ago. These are all talking points since the last one of these. But that obviously sucks if I give any fuck about human life whatsoever. But I think someone walked in to a U.S. embassy or something and donated $30 million. Probably good, awesome, but probably $30 million. I don't know how far that's going to go for a disaster like this. Probably not much. Chick-fil-A to roll out cauliflower based chicken alternative sandwich. KFC tested plant-based nuggets that are no longer available, and Burger King still selling their Impossible Burger, which is a plant-based substitute for a cheeseburger or a hamburger. Again, what do I think about plant-based food? Again, I'm almost certain it will not overtake. It will have some fad boost in the near term. It certainly don't think it's bad. It will not overtake the nutrients provided by exercising muscle tissue, or just any other differentiated cell from an animal, such as a liver or an eyeball or a heart or whatever. But if you can, I don't see what technologically. I don't see why we couldn't just culture the cells and exercise them or train them the same. So again, I think there'll be a happy medium of. I don't think we'll ever get off of needing exercised muscle tissue, meat, as opposed to just plants, but I think we'll get closer to mimicking a living, sentient being from just tissue alone. So I think there's room for technological improvement there. Again, for actual selling business economics, it just depends on what the consumer wants. I think the consumer will want it for some time. It's not going to be super big or super small. So again, maybe some successful menu items, maybe some not. So we had the big Super Bowl Sunday. I watched the first quarter. Actually, it goes pretty quick, to be honest. I watched the first quarter, didn't watch much past that. And then used to be the big thing was watching the commercials. Again, they still like talking about the commercials, but they used to be a lot edgier just to get into it. It seemed to be a lot more big of a thing to watch the commercials during the Super Bowl. With some facts, we had the Chiefs versus the Eagles. The Chiefs won 38-35. Before the game, I had an approximation of $16 billion will be bet. The Lombardi Trophy weighs 7 pounds. It's small. It's about the average size of a human baby. Nice. And 1.4 billion wings will be eaten. Luckily for me, again, I have no friends. I got social ostracized from every social group I was ever exposed to. So obviously no invitations to any social gathering whatsoever in many years. Which I don't give a fuck about because again, I don't know why people would not want to be a friend with me. And then once you disrespect me in my life's research, then you got an enemy in me. And then Michael Rubin on Full Send podcast, the founder of Fanatics and Lids, says the worst thing is an influential person after you. Which again, it works two ways. I'm not an influential person, so people continue to snuff out my life and disrespect me instinctually. But if something ever occurs where I become influential, I'm not going to go back and be respectful of the people that disrespected me. I will treat people with equality. The people have endangered my life, stolen all of my property, ruined my ability to have health care, ruined my ability to have health care with my family. I mean, again, my dad has late-stage cancer, and his doctors won't prescribe him cannabis. So it's like state-sponsored murder. When I called Sergeant Bill Kosiski, he's like, how would not publishing your paper, or I don't think it's fair you put that on us about my grandfather dying without taking proper medicine. So again, I guess neglecting healthcare doesn't endanger people's lives. So let's do it with your kids. Let's take a basic infection, just let it run, and medicine doesn't work. Nah, just let it run. How would that? Don't put that on us if we just neglect basic infections that are treatable and it kills people. That's not on us, man. Jeez, Sergeant Bill Kosiski. What a great father you're going to be. Or I'm sure you are. But I don't care about the Super Bowl, didn't watch it. Oh yeah, we had great, our quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and the other guy, 24 and 27, both had great fathers, and now they're 24 and 27, and I'm going to be 30. Again, people stole my entire career. I made a whole episode losing my entire career. It's gone. People just stole it. It's like 15 different careers. Gone, stolen, taken. I'm never going to live my life. Oh, cool beans. 14-year-old girl. Okay, this is surprising. We only have like one shooting death. Oh, we have two, so that's still pretty surprising. Typically it's like 15 million. 14-year-old girl kills herself after videos of her getting beat up are posted to social media. This is in Bayville, New Jersey. The victim was Adriana Kuch. 3 girls charged with third-degree felony assault. So it seems like the punishment for bullying is going down the punishment is going up pretty severely, which is good. Again, I'm going on 30. We did not. I don't remember. I think any groups really being bullied at all. It depends on the school or the location or just a simple groups of people. But I would be harsh on bullying, I guess. I don't know. But she got beat up at school. They sent around the videos. Again, I don't know. It sucks, I guess. No opinion. Just nothing to say. Lawyer dies after MRI machine discharges his weapon into his abdomen a week after the incident. So, Leandro Matthias de Novaes, there's no age given, but that was from Brazil. And that was on January 16, 2022. He was there for his mother's scan to obviously magnetic resonance imaging. So, magnetics is going to rip out the metal. So they tell him not to have metal. But interesting that it would squeeze the trigger as opposed to just like pull the whole gun. So again, now we have MRI machines catching bodies, man. First it was just the cranked up old dudes, then it was the 6-year-olds, then it was the dog, now it's the fucking MRI machine, yo. This shit is wild out here, bro. But again, I thought maybe because the headline wasn't clear if he was there for his scan, like he was like literally in the machine with a gun on his hip or some dumb shit. But even in the room with that is equally as dumb shit. But where is this gun located? Where it's, and again, I would never carry, not that you should ever have a weapon, but I would never carry in the front. I'd always back tuck that thing. Read forward and shoot yourself. The dude from 8 Mile. I would always get uncomfortable when I see people on TV shows tucking a piece right there. It's like, put it in the back. But where was this gun on this guy? They get shot in the abdomen. Again, probably a front tuck. Which again, it's so stupid. But so yeah, I just intrigued as to like what does he have? Is it in a holster? Or is he just freeballing it? But like how would it just the machine just pull the trigger as opposed to yank the whole gun away from him? Not really sure. Whatever it is, we now have MRI machines catching bodies. Alphabet chatbot loses 166 billion in 2 days. That's a solid return. It's pretty good launch. Pretty good return ROI. It's a good one. Shout out to Sundar Pichai, you know, great leaders. Whatever, if you have a job, again, I want to be the CEO of Google. No chance Sundar Pichai's academic, scientific, engineering, well, maybe engineering, but background, again, whatever skills you can do, if logic is demonstrable, I'm the wordsmith. I do pure logic to physical proofing and geometric validation. So I can, whatever you can learn, I can learn better. So I want to be the CEO of Google. Shit, I want to buy Google. 1.3 Chili's, run that shit up, cuz. But losing 166 billion in 2 days, that's pretty fucking solid. Fast 10 trailer drops. I like the Fast movies. I'll see that in theaters. Fast cars, beautiful women. I'm in. Why not? Cocaine Bear is almost here. Might make it to the theaters to see that one. Looks pretty raunchy and stupid. That is certainly a genre that I can get behind. Maybe on Cocaine Bear. Like I said, I did watch Michael Rubin on the Full Send podcast. But the last thing was all these airborne crafts. We had a high altitude object shot down over South Carolina with a suspected Chinese balloon. Now we have 3 more. We have an octagon with strings hanging from it over Huron. We have, I don't know, there's 4 of them. There's an octagon, there's a cylinder, there's the balloon. But do I think, as someone who has personal contact with aliens, as somebody who has 35 different people telling me they have materials, they have skeletons, they knew there was at least 2, you don't know what truce you just negotiated. Do I think these are extraterrestrials at all? No, I just no. Do I think human beings can shoot down alien craft? No. Can alien crafts crash? Maybe have you guys reversed engineer them? I'm almost certain the reason you guys have the actual UFOs of aliens is, again, I don't think any of these things are alien or extraterrestrial, simply because I don't give any credence to human beings being able to willfully shoot down alien spacecraft without severe. Again, maybe the only chance would be, and again, I think the reason you have near misses with pilots is because if you've reversed engineered and you have these lights and you're not sure what the lights do, and you start flashing the fucking lights, you might be giving signals, right? When they separate and they come back together as one and stuff. And so if you're just flashing lights around, that's probably might be sending mixed signals. You're not like threatening, but like logistical. Go this way or go this way. So if you have near misses or something, or they could just be pissed off, or they could just be fucking with you. Always possibilities. But clear as day, again, I cycle through all of these things intuitively as they pop into my head. But Luis Elizondo, who again, get that fuck out of society, he's doing nothing for UFOs. He is lying and killing children by refusing to disseminate known scientific proof. But he clearly said there's like, we might not know what the lights are. So I think the near close misses, again, if you've reverse engineered craft and you're flashing lights, I think you can logistically fuck up some air traffic control or something. I don't see any potential for these things that are being shot down by human beings to be alien. Again, we've known Russia and China to fire on the actual UFOs, and so certainly, again, maybe if you can reverse engineer it and trick one, go fishing and catch one spacecraft, you're not going to catch fucking 4. no chance. So I give this as 0% alien, unless if this is actual aliens, make this shit rain 1 million of these a day. Human beings need to change their fucking behavior. It has been 7 years with unification of the natural sciences on the internet, just sitting there, and people just won't click on it. So if it's actual aliens, make this shit rain every fucking day. If it's stupid human beings, publish the shit about aliens you already know. The crafts you already have, the anatomies you already know, this material that I don't have. And let's get on with actual fucking scientific research. But, unless aliens are willfully trying to speed up the process, there's no chance these things are from extraterrestrial civilizations. The ones people do have, again, when they say how do human beings have craft, and I get the response is chance. I think as like a civilization that maybe left a satellite here, a thing there, this thing there, or something, as opposed to maybe some, if there's a truce amongst aliens or something, and species that have been here, more technologically advanced things. Maybe this is a Sweden to some extent. Maybe we're a gas station where somebody wants some salt water or something. But again, there's all the intuitions I have. I've gone through the lineages I have, but I see these no, and I could be wrong, but I see there's no fucking chance as humans being able to willfully shoot down extraterrestrial craft to any extent whatsoever. It could be wrong if they have some reverse engineering, which they do have that. But to what extent they've done that into, again, whatever, if you start flashing lights incorrectly, I think it'd be more of logistical signals to get these near misses or whatever. But don't know for sure on these, but again, I have had people, high-level government people or whoever, come up to me unprompted at my apartment confirming these things 2 years ago. So it's not like, and again, when some bimbo-ass white bitch walks past me at HQ Flats and says, "Thank you for clarifying that, we weren't sure." You guys just don't understand how aware I am and how much scientific research I've done. Millions and millions and millions of theorems derived over my life. And you can't derive one theorem until you're like aware of like what's going on in the world. And then have the capacity to do so. So I see absolutely negligible chance of these being extraterrestrials or aliens. Again, alien strikes me as much older civilization. You know, we can do basically whatever we want. I'm assuming that's human beings. But again, we certainly have doppelganger species. So would they have to be geographically close to look like us? There would certainly be hierarchies. Like there's hierarchies in our species. There'd be hierarchies of, again, reporting, of rules of interaction, of, you know, who is here, what resources do they use, all of that type of shit. Who's around town, how many people come here, all of that shit would come into play, and I don't know dick about that. So I can't give you much more insight. I see the 4 objects, no chance human beings consistently, I don't see it possible at all, they're consistently shooting down alien crafts, unless they're just dropping them on us, which would be fucking awesome. Put some alien script in a little weather balloon and go fly it over USA so we can shoot it down and have undeniable proof where people have to change. But then we already do have undeniable proof, and they just, the first, if it was a crash in 1967, and then this person says, "Come look at this," and then this government agency gets called in and nobody knows what the fuck happened. So just publish those shits. So, thank you for watching Language Litigation Integration Part 182, Casual Conversations 95. My name is Bradley Bowes. I'm being profoundly and extensively tortured. There was nothing I can do, there was nowhere I can go, and there was no one I can call. I will be tortured until the day that I die because people refuse to enforce the law. I'm not sad, I'm not angry. Well, I'm angry, but I'm not sad. I'm more mature than you. Pay my fucking money and stop calling me a fucking threat. Stealing my property and endangering my life is a threat to me. Let me leave. Fuck you.